Heights es una obra de teatro basada en el libro de Chiara Alegría, con música y letras de Lin-Manuel Miranda. La obra captura 3 días en la vida de varios personajes que viven en el barrio latino de Manhattan. Johnny Munoz asistió a la apertura para la prensa en el Teatro Rep.
I choreographed a production of West Side Story at a theater in Chicago, and the casting director for Milwaukee Repertory Theatre was actually our dramaturg for that production. He handled all of the research elements for the play. When this came around, when they decided to do In the Heights, he was like, you know, you guys might be interested in hiring this choreographer from Chicago. He's Latino, he might have some interesting things to say about In the Heights. And then all of a sudden I was on the phone with May Adrales and we were having this conversation about In the Heights, and we just immediately meshed and immediately wanted all of the same things. And so they brought me on board and now I'm here.
I found acting early in school. You know, we used to do the school plays and stuff like that, and always got into first plays and then musicals. And this piece specifically was really the first piece that I saw on Broadway and heard music at an earlier age in my teens or my early 20s. It's definitely something that I experience on a day-to-day basis, and to see it represented in a play or in a musical on stage in that way, it called me at a very early age, and I knew from then that I had to, and I really wanted to be a part of a show like this. What this piece exemplifies is the meaning of home and what that is. I mean, home, a lot of times we think it's the place I was born or the place that I grew up, and those things may be true, but home can be anywhere. Home can be where you keep your heart.
And In the Heights focuses on one specific neighborhood at one specific moment in time where that was happening, and it opens with these 3 storefronts all sort of realizing that they have to leave. The whole play is about a neighborhood and sort of what happens to this neighborhood, and it's a very specific part of a longer history of gentrification. I am generating all of the material for the play. We're not doing any of the original from Broadway. That was choreographed by a man named Andy Blankenbuehler. He's really good. But it was really important to me and also to May, the director, that we develop a language with the dancers. So our biggest inspirations are definitely hip hop and salsa. And, you know, every kind of social dance that's about community. You know, hip hop is about community, salsa is all about community, and the play is about community.
I play a bodega owner. His name is Usnavi de la Vega. He's the epitome of hard work in the community. He's a staple, he's a cornerstone. He pretty much is the one character that connects everybody in this community through various reasons. He has family in the show. He has his abuela that he lives close by. He has a cousin who works with him. My best friend Benny works at the taxi dispatch. Right next door, there's a salon down that has all kinds of characters. The show does a great job of showing you how much life can exist in a one-block space. And Usnavi is there to serve as our narrator and really bridge the gap between the audience and what's happening on stage, because this is really a love note to New York and to Latin culture. We're doing this piece in the hopes that we get to educate audiences on things that they might not know the most about.
It smells like one of those trees that hang from the rear view.
My job as the narrator and as the MC of the evening is to really take you through this journey and make sure you don't miss any of the good parts.
Lights up from Washington Heights, so at the break of day I wake up and I got this little punk I gotta chase away.
I think the whole show, we kind of show that you can bring home with you anywhere you go. It can be in your heart, it can be picking up the phone and reaching out to friends and family. It's a beautiful thing to be Latino because we wear our culture on our sleeves.
We had started by creating all of this salsa movement that we were then going to teach to the cast. And then we very quickly sort of punted on that, and we're like, that's not really going to help us. You know, giving people moves to do isn't really going to create the sense of spontaneity, the sense of spirit, the sense of community that we really want. So instead, we had a big salsa lesson, and we learned onto the way that they salsa in New York. And so then we taught the entire cast. And then we created a structure of the piece, and then we're kind of like, okay, have at it. You can just dance and just be yourself and spin your partner around and pick the one that you want to do, just not being planned. Feeling like we're actually in a club, feeling like we're actually on the street. So that is the goal.
I mean, the music in a piece like this, you know, it's like asking, like, what does music mean to Latin culture? You know, the answer is everything, you know. We can communicate through music, we can communicate through dance. And I think that's incredible, and this piece is no different. We have incredible dancers who are learning intense, intricate steps at lightning speed and just communicating and speaking through them. As far as me, I communicate mostly with the audience, mostly through rap and hip hop.
Fight the heat, 'cause I'm not making any profit if the coffee isn't light and sweet.
To me, there's nothing more expressive and more connective than a rap music and hip hop, because you really get to put everything else aside and focus on the message and the story.
The dance really supports that story. It supports the struggle. It's, you know, oftentimes we just create these emotional environments that sort of reflect the hard work, but then also the resilience and the incredible joy that comes with being Latino and owning your culture and owning your history and where you came from and the family that you represent, whether they're here in the States or they're back home.
In the Heights is an ensemble piece where we're just really one community, and you know, different people just have different perspectives on it, different outlooks, and different kind of storylines within the bigger story.
In the Heights, I flick the lights and start my day.
It's about Latinos, and it's about specifically, or mostly, Caribeños, so people from Puerto Rico and Cuba and the Dominican Republic, and then also people from Mexico, also people from South America, also people from Central America, all living in this neighborhood called Washington Heights.
What it's like in Washington Heights.
This is a play for everyone. Like I said, it's similar to a fiddler. It's really at its core, it's a story about home and the people that make up home, whether it's family or the people that are our chosen family. You know, the people that we meet along the way on our journeys and we take along with us. That's what Washington Heights is.
I had spent most of my musical theater career, you know, having to look at 100 years worth of musical theater history and having people sort of, you know, be like, okay, well, like, you're Latino, so like you can play Paul in a chorus line, or you can play Bernardo in West Side Story, and let's see, who else? You know, and just like trying to come up with like the maybe 5 Latino roles in musical theater. Growing up in the Midwest and existing at this weird intersection of things and being Midwestern, but also being Hispanic and having immigrant parents, but being a United States citizen, all of those things sort of come to a head when you're young and trying to figure out who you are. And when I saw this show, there's a specific part in the middle of Act 2 when everybody is just celebrating, and one of the characters says, my mom is Dominican Cuban, my dad is from Chile and PR, which means I'm Chile Dominican Rican, but I always say I'm from Queens. And I think I was 20 years old and I immediately started crying because I was like, that is me. Like, that's me exactly, with my complicated story that I'm always having to explain to my friends. And here are these characters on stage who are representing me, and not only representing me, but embracing me and calling me family. And that was a really powerful thing to see at that time. And I think an incredible gift to give to the Latinx community, you know, to say like, this is us, and like, this is the thing that makes all of us family, is our experience in this country and all of the weird, complicated things that come with that. And we're all this big mashup of all of these different things, and that's what makes us family. And the show really focuses on that a lot, and it celebrates that and lifts that up.